Oh boy.
Her lyric is off the cuff and she's talking about this thing that's so funny and so conversational. The melodies are so soaring and then everyone's just kind of like playing. It's almost like you just feel all the characters in the room.
Stupid. Or is it slow?
Hi, I'm Jack Antonoff. I'm here with Mix with the Masters. I'm going to show you how we made Manchild. You know, the feel of a song is not only what people play, but it's how you mix them together. And this was such a delicate balance of that. So on Manchild, the two main feels is the Lindrum, which is as straight as can be. And then this galloping swung thing on top of it, which kind of pushes and pulls in different directions. You know, if straight and swung are the spectrum, there's everything in between. The space between is where the magic happens. Okay, so this would be the exact time when I say, all right, I got it, that's interesting. I see what's happening with this swung thing. I see what's happening with the straight thing. Now, how do I blur those lines even more to create something that is truly new? And what's cool about things like the chorus echo or the space echo or the Benson, it makes it impossible to be duplicated and it makes it completely unique and it makes it an expression of how you were feeling in that moment. If your song or your mix calls for something that is completely unplaceable and needs to be really free, then this is a great place to turn. So let me put the Lin kit into the copycat. Now, what's really interesting specifically about a copycat, which I really want to show you how I do this because this is a lot of ideas come from here. The copycat, you can literally fuck with the tape. So right here, now let's do a Benson one. Not the feel I want, but that's interesting for something else. That's cool. And it's really important to really fuck with swells to find like odd moments. This is how I started to make this track feel like something that wasn't just coming from a place where you know it's coming from. And when you start doing things like this, it informs everything. And basically, what this feels like to me is how can I play machines like they're instruments? How do I play these machines the same way I play a piano or a guitar? Because there was like a time not that long ago when people thought that the electric guitar was like a machine and a complete bastardization of the wooden guitar, and then slowly people just put so much humanity into it that we don't even think about it that way anymore. And I see automation that way, and I see this kind of gear that way. Touching the tape is like my version of touching grass. It's like, get in there.
You said your phone was broken, just forgot to charge it. Whole outfit you're wearing, God, I hope it's ironic. Did you just say you're finished? Didn't know we started. It's all just so familiar, baby. What do you call it?
This is kind of an atypical Mix with the Masters because I'm really focusing on how to utilize this stuff to make things feel like they could have only happened in that moment, which is true. I mean, everything I'm doing here is live and it would be impossible to recreate it all. So to recap, the stuff we just did live, it's like kind of like beautiful mess living behind all of it. It adds like such a life. I almost feel like it's like, in many ways to me, it's like the modern version of recording the room. You know, like we all know what the room sounds like and we've heard so many great recordings like that, but it's like, now I want to hear what instruments sound like being manipulated by a person in real time, not being manipulated by a person, you know, only dialing plugins, but playing all these things like they're instruments. What's interesting about Manchild is like, most of the sonic information is really just coming from the Juno. So like even like, you know, the bass there to gallop, you know, doubled it. It's not really like, that's not my bass. My bass is this. That's what you feel. When the strings come in, I know it's, okay, swing it and play it straight and do everything in the middle. And Bobby Hawk, who played, you know, I have him play a bunch of takes, you can see all the takes, and I just grab the bits. I needed Bobby to be almost like collegiate. This is the, you know, when the vocals shift.
Why so sexy, you so dumb, and how survive?
So Sabrina's melody completely changes and becomes like very classic and almost like, feels like you're in like an old English like dinner party or something is how I hear the melody. And it also really becomes very sweet. And the sentiment of the lyric, what she's talking about is like a fantasy. So, you know, if Bobby was playing Head on Fire kind of hoedown, now I want him to get really, play like a quartet. And then when it comes time to change that scene, I want him to fucking...
Manchild, why you always come running on me? Fuck my life, won't you let an innocent woman be?
One of the bedrocks of this song is this guitar part. So with harmonic instruments, some of the stuff that I'll do with the tape echoes become even more interesting because then you start to get the harmonic changes when you mess with the speed. And you start to blend that with the whole other world we've done on the drums with this stuff, and it just starts to travel in space and time. Like that's something you gotta ride because like there's moments in there that are like disgusting in the great way, and then there's moments there that are the wrong kind of disgusting. You gotta find them. So it's almost like with that character, I want them to pop their head out like that.
Never heard yourself care. Have your brain just staying there?
When we were writing the song, it was the live Juno and the Lynn. So this is the point where the song starts.
Come running on me. Fuck my life. Won't you let an innocent woman be?
So crazy about Feel is obviously at the same tempo as the actual recording, but keeping it here, you know, and for straight, it almost feels like
Running on me. Fuck my life.
a fucking different song. It feels like cruisy in a way. It feels like we're just like on this ride. And the introduction of the chaos is how it becomes almost larger than life.
Fuck my life. Won't you let an innocent woman be? Never heard yourself care.
When it comes to vocals, it's about what the song is asking for. So this song to me sounds like a person you know telling a story that you know, but they're telling it in a new way. And it's very like conversational. You know, it sounds like someone, like a friend of yours, like bitching about dating or something. There's very few vocals. There's really just kind of,
You said your phone was broken, just forgot.
there's basically a lead vocal that tells the story. And it's very important for the song to start that way. You know, to double that would just completely lose the intimacy. You know, I'll do like the impression of a double, which is more like a slap. But you know, even if it's like something like this, which is a nice vocal treatment.
You said your phone was broken, just forgot to charge.
Like I'm so not with it in the same way as,
You said your phone was broken, just forgot to charge.
and overly stacking or doubling or harmonizing this song to us felt like we were driving a point home that was meant to be one person in conversation. And even in the chorus, there's just a 4-stack, even though it sounds like it's, you know, 100 people singing from a mountaintop. And that's just through all the stuff I was showing you, like taking less and making it feel big through how were playing with it rather than, you know, the diminishing returns of many things.
Oh, I like my boys playing hard to get, and I like my men all incompetent, and I swear they choose me, I'm not choosing them, amen.
Recording needs to leave a lot of space for the imagination. If you have a huge chorus like Manchild, we could have a few things going on, and then we could sit with them and treat them in ways to make them feel like the most special thing in the world. Because I think that leaves the ability for myself when I'm listening and other people when they're listening to imagine it bigger than it actually was, which for me is more powerful than slamming it to the very ends of the sonic earth where there's no room for a human being's ear or body to squeeze into that field.